Greetings. What's up? It's Deborah Watts, and welcome to our brand new group, Resilient Maverick Leaders. Today, we've got a lot to cover. We're going to find out what communication, connection, cohesion, teamwork, cooperation, what they all have in common. And we're going to put it into a framework that you're going to love because it's going to make it really easy to be a resilient leader. I'm also going to give you some really cool tidbits and bonus information. So stay tuned, okay? And stay with me to the end. So if you're in here live, go ahead and say what's up. And if you're watching the replay, can you type #replay just so I know that you're here, and let's get started, okay? And of course, as always, the more you participate, the more you're going to get out of it. So I know it may seem cheesy to say, hey, what's up, or say #replay, but that's really going to start to engage us and engage the group in conversation, which is the whole point of being here, right? Otherwise, you could just read a boring old blog article anywhere on the internet. We're here to engage and to connect and to have conversations that mean something, okay? So welcome. I am your host, Deborah Watts. You're probably familiar with me from somewhere else, LinkedIn, Facebook, other groups. So wherever it is that you know me, you can type in the comments too. Let me know how we met. I would always like to see that. My focus is on relationship turnaround and resilience. And I specifically focus on leadership because I believe that every single person is a leader. Some of us are just a little bit more aware of it than others. I include children in that. Children lead in many amazing and powerful ways and teach. I learn from children all the time. So all of us are leaders, in my humble opinion. And so these skills are skills that everyone wants to develop as a leader to be resilient. And we're going to talk a lot about what resilience means. I'm going to give you a really short definition here now, and we'll go into it in future Facebook Lives and posts about the definition of resilience. But basically, it is the ability, as I define it in this group here, in this context, the ability to be yourself no matter what is happening on the outside. So it doesn't mean that yourself is only one thing. Yourself is many different things. But to be able to be truly authentic and congruent and to act in integrity at all times, regardless of what's happening to you, that to me is the definition of resilience. So as you can see, it's a little bit different from the definition of perseverance or strength or some other things that people have often associated with resilience. And there's specific reasons for that. Like I said, we're going to get into that in the future. But for right now, I want to go ahead and get started with our questions. So each Wednesday, at least we're going to try it for the first quarter, and then we'll see how we like it or don't. We may abandon ship, we may keep doing it. But for each Wednesday in the first 3 months, we're going to be answering questions. So when you come in, I've asked a question, a really simple one, which is what would you like to see more of or improve in your team, your family, or your community in the next 90 days? So you can, some of those answers are what I'm going to be responding to today, or you can just ask any question that you like. I will have a post up on Tuesdays, and you can ask your questions, and I will answer them on Wednesdays. So whatever is up and pops up into your mind, I always enjoy these, and I find that they seem to be really helpful for people. I've gotten continuous feedback over the years that these Q&A sessions are really helpful. So even if you didn't ask a question, listen in to my answers and try to apply it to whatever situation you may be dealing with. You might be surprised because often if one person is having a challenge, they're not the only ones. So getting started with our first question. So we actually have 3 questions, and I noticed a common theme. They were about cooperation, communication, connection, and teamwork. And the more that I looked at the questions, the more I started to realize that this theme is what we call interconnection. So it's one of our 5 key areas that we're going to be looking at in our process of going from wherever you are currently, whether it might be overwhelmed or whether it might be feeling kind of disconnected, whether it might be trying to really find your own way amongst other people's ways and not having quite found your own way yet, wherever you are, to a place where you're being a congruent leader Does that mean that you're going to be best friends with everyone that you work with, or that you're all going to hold your hands around the fire and sing Kumbaya? No, that's not what it means. What it means to be a resilient Maverick leader is to be someone, like we said, who's able to be themselves at all times and who owns and enjoys and embodies who they are instead of trying to follow someone else's leadership model. Okay, so there are ways to do this that can turn everybody off. We don't want to do that. But no matter what you do, you're never going to please everyone. So I want you to understand that as we're going through this, this is not like a quick fix so everyone can be besties. It's really more about the long-term picture, and it's about creating true harmony, which is like woven into the fabric of your team or your family or your community that over time is going to grow. Hi, Verse, it's nice to see you. Go ahead and type in the comments how we met. I'm asking everyone that right now. Okay, so I'm going to get started with our first question, and that is family one. So in my team, aka family, I'd like more cooperation, an understanding of each other, and using of each other's strengths, supporting one another along the way, kindness, an environment of growth. Awesome. These are great, great goals, and it's a really kind of clear emotional vision. So if you haven't already, let me know in the comments if you've gotten any of my information on how vision is really emotions and not goals, not your goal setting. That's like how you get your vision to be powerful. So if you've heard of that already, let me know in the comments. If you want my information on that, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely post it in the group. Okay. So very good there. This is a very clear focus on the emotions that she wants to feel: kindness, growth, supporting each other, understanding, cooperation. So I think all of us want that, right? In whatever environment we're in, we want more of that. And we can never get there by dictating a set of rules, operating procedures, anything. Instead, how we get there is when people are wholeheartedly agreeing. Well, how do you get people to wholeheartedly agree in whatever the topic is, whether it's cleaning the house or whether it's creating something for the community, like maybe you make a bake sale or you make some crafts or you do something together to give to others? Like, how do you get agreement? Because everyone is different. Here is the key, and I'm going to talk about this a lot because it's really important. Understanding. People need to feel understood first, and then they want to understand and connect with you. So when everyone feels understood in any environment, whether it's a team or a family, you're going to have more cooperation. You're going to have more kindness. You're going to have more supporting of each other. Because when I feel understood, I'm far more likely to want to understand you. Okay, so that's a really, really simple, broad brush overview. Now the how, there's lots of different ways to do that, but I want to really just cover the basics in today's Q&A, and in the future, I can go into more specifics and more details, so we don't make this like a 2-hour long Facebook Live. So the second question is to be able to execute more of my ideas. I'm hoping to be able to create better teamwork amongst my team, all of whom have other gigs and busy family lives. Time dedication is something I was bashful about asking for in the past because I respect time for rest so much, but I think a few hours of us all working together would go a long way. So this is a really good example of a team leader who has a remote team, right? So that's a lot of us, especially now in this day and age. A lot of companies are even going towards remote teams. So it's a little bit challenging sometimes, right, to get everybody on the same page because everyone's got different schedules. And as he is noticing, he's feeling like execution or productivity is suffering because there's just so many different people, and maybe they're like a volunteer team, maybe they're not like salaried and always getting a study, so they're not like committing a specific amount of time to work, or maybe they're committing a specific amount of time to work, but they're not working together, and so most of the time that they're interacting, they're just trying to get on the same page. And he's understanding that a few hours of everyone working together would go a long way. So here, this is a really good example of someone who's already expressing quite a bit of understanding for the people that are working with him, his team. So maybe it's something where, and this can go many different ways with the logistics of the how, but the basic idea is you want to get everyone to see the value of working together. And from a place of them not having to do it, but them wanting to do it. Because again, we're talking about the long term, right? In the short term, you can make somebody do anything, but in the long term, a lot of things will suffer, especially cohesion, right? So one of the goals could be to just find out from them first, like, okay, what are you struggling with? Where is your schedule super tight or super busy? What's going on there? Like, what's the hardest thing about being you? If you haven't gotten the checklist, let me know in the comments. I'll send it to you because that's one of the questions that's in there is, what's the hardest part about being you? Because then that gives you some insight into where people are having the biggest challenges and struggles. And then you can, with them together, start to brainstorm ideas of how everyone can get together and it won't be something that people feel forced to do, but something that they want to do. Because again, they feel understood because you took the time to ask them the questions and to really get to understand what's going on for them. Again, listening and not just saying, okay, so I heard you and this is what I want you to do, but actually listening and brainstorming with them some ways to relieve their anxiety. Because it's really not the thing. There will always be too much to do. There will always be more things to do in a day than we have hours to complete them or function or focus or whatever to complete them. So it's really not about those things. It's about how they're feeling about those things. So if those things are creating a lot of anxiety on them, or they've probably attached some anxiety to meeting with you, then that's the first thing to remove. And you can only do that when they feel truly understood. I hope this is making sense. Okay, so I'm going to go to the third question. Let me take a look real quick at the comments because I'm just reading here. Oh, she said, that's so true, but how to do it. Okay, yeah, the how, like, uh-oh. Did I lose you guys? How long has this been down? Yeah, let's see. You can hear me, but you can't see me. Okay, I'm going to continue then. All right. Sorry for the connection. This has never happened before, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we're going to go on to the third question, and then I might have to come back and re-record or answer questions in the comments. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them by typing. Okay, so let's go to the third question, which is, I strive for healthier communication in my family. I feel some anxiety, we just talked about that, as we move forward as I work part-time, and my husband has been the full-time parent this year. We also radically unschool, so communication and connection are vital. So this is another place where, again, it's about communication and connection. And again, in the short term, you can make anybody talk to you. You can make anybody, have a conversation with you. But in the long term, it's not sustainable if they don't feel understood. So again, the theme is coming back to connection. To feeling understood, sorry. Connection is coming back to feeling understood. And that is really what interconnection is about, okay? And so we're gonna look at 5 different areas. And once I get off this Facebook Live, I'm gonna post in the group your first template. You're gonna have lots of models and templates from me to help you to understand this better. But the first one is going to be on interconnection and how it ties into our 5-part wheel. And when we're talking about radical Maverick leadership, what that looks like. So hopefully this was helpful. The main theme here is that for connection, communication, cohesion, teamwork, you need to be you need to have everyone feeling understood so that they are willingly connecting with you, willingly coming into agreements with you. Okay, that's when you are entering into stage 4. But before you can be in stage 4, everyone has to be in stage 3, which is independence. We're going to talk more about the stages later on this week. I'm not going to get into too much detail now, but I just wanted to throw that reference in there so that when you hear it again the next time, you have something to connect back to. So the bottom line for today was understanding, making people feel understood. Okay, and there are as many ways to do that as there are people. So we're going to go on a case-by-case basis. Ask your questions in the comments. And like I said, if you want the checklist and you did not receive it, check your email inbox. And if you still don't have it, then type in the comments, and I will most definitely make sure that you get a copy of that. That's it for today. Hopefully this was helpful. I want to keep it simple. And you will see again later on this week. We'll talk a little bit about the first stages. Okay, much love. Have a great day.